Alright, so 2026 is right around the corner, and I recently made a video about the top 3 niches that are absolutely printing money right now, which are biotech, investment firms, and recruitment agencies. That video did well, and a lot of you guys reached out asking, okay, Saad, I know the niches now, but what's gonna be my tech stack? What tools you are personally using, and what would you do if you were me? So I figured I'd record this video for you guys to break down the exact tech stack that I'll be using and what you should do too as an operator. And the goal here is very simple, give you guys as much value as possible so you're not wasting time testing random software or watching 50 different YouTube videos trying to figure it out on your own. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to show you exactly what I'm using, why I use it, how much it costs so you can plug it directly into your business and get up and running fast yourself. For context, if you're new here, my name is Saad, made over 180 grand last month with my sales agency, and everything I'm about to show you is what's running behind the scenes. So if you're serious about building this in 2026 and beyond, highly recommend you pay attention. So let's get into it. Now, in November, this is what I like to call the quiet before the storm, because in 2026, we're going to see the craziest wave of sales automation demand ever. The reason why is because AI is becoming commoditized, but only commoditized if you're positioning yourself as an AI agency or like an automation provider. Sales automation and lead gen is where the real opportunity is because that directly impacts revenue and making money. And every business owner that I talk to wants to automate their lead generation. They see sales systems everywhere and they think, I need this for my business. But the thing is, it's not about what you build anymore, because every agency is going to have access to the same AI tools, the same automation platforms, the same data sources. So the technology is becoming a commodity. So what actually works now is you positioning. And by positioning, I mean how you frame what you do and the value that you deliver. This is why you should focus on positioning yourself as a connector, selling outcomes and facilitating relationships between businesses that need each other. Now, Saad, why is the connector so powerful? Well, because most agencies try to sell services directly. That's what traditional lead gen and AI agency do. But it's no longer working because it puts you in a crowded marketplace where you're competing on price and skills and experience. But as a connector, you avoid direct competition. You're not just another person selling AI. And two, you're building a business that's hard to copy. I mean, think about it. This is the first time you've heard the term connector sales agency. No one can copy my business model, right? Because I have the systems. Well, you guys will because I don't gatekeep anything. But the point is, no one can copy your business model because it gets better with every client because you're building your own market intelligence, okay? So think about it like a real estate agent. They don't own houses or build them. They have the system that connects buyers with sellers and take a fee for making successful matches. So that's not a commodity. These are relationships, and relationships can be commoditized by AI. And at the end of the day, business is still human to human. Conversations between real people making real decisions, and as long as humans exist, we'll need humans to build the systems to facilitate those conversations. AI can help with the process, but it can't really replace the trust and relationship building that happens when two business owners connect and decide to work together. Okay, so now that you understand why the connector model works and why 2026 is going to be insane for this business, well, obviously you need to start printing money. Well, how do we do that? Well, we need customers, sales from customers. Well, how do we get customers? Well, through outreach. You need to do outreach. And I believe you already know this by now, but if it's not, just a little reminder, customers come from outreach because unless you're like Gary Vee or have some massive personal brand, people aren't just gonna stumble across your website and hand you 15K. And I believe Warren Buffett, the greatest investor of all time, said, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. What he means is that success takes time to build. You do the work now so you can enjoy the benefits later. So it's tempting to want to sit in the shade of a personal brand without actually doing the hard work first. And a lot of people think if they just post content for like 6 months, clients will like just magically appear. The reality is that even the biggest personal brands started with outreach. Gary Vee was like cold calling wine customers. Grant Cardone was knocking on car dealership doors. Alex Hormozy was doing door-to-door gym sales. So personal brand is the long game. Outreach is the short game. So if you want to make money in 2025, 2026, not 2030, well, you do outreach. And if you think about it, these sales customers that you're going to get, they'll pay you 5 to 8K to build them a system that automates their lead gen and outreach. So if they're handing you 5 and 8K, it means they also want a system that does that for them, right? And the beautiful part, or like the beautiful thing about systematic outreach, that it's predictable. It's not like you're doing Upwork waiting for someone to see your proposal while 50 other people send the exact same thing, pitching it at a fraction of the cost. You talk to 10 people, you get on a call with, like, for example, 4 to 5, and you close 1 to 2. It's just math, not hope. And when I got started, a mentor told me a personal brand is great for the ego, but outreach pays the bills. And once you're making plus 50K a month for your own outreach, then you can invest time in content and like brand building. Okay, so that's why everything I'm about to show you is focused on outbound systems, because that's what actually puts money in your bank account now, not later. Okay, now. So Saad, how do I do good systematic outreach that puts money in my bank account now? Well, you need an infrastructure for it. And a lot of people think it's something very complex or hard to crack, but in reality, it's not. Okay, you might watch like some YouTube video about Google or Microsoft making deliverability harder. But here's the thing. It's only true if you're doing traditional agency outreach. But we're not doing that. We're doing connector outreach, just like I said, which is a completely different positioning. That's like 80% of the entire secret sauce. But first, let me explain what infrastructure actually is, because once you understand this, everything else becomes simple. Okay? So what is infrastructure, Saad? Well, it's basically the ship. It's what carries your message to people. Think about it like a pigeon in the old days. And I got like a beautiful graph for you. Think about it like a pigeon, right? So this is a pigeon, okay? So in the old days, if you wanted to send a message to one person, you'd use one pigeon. And if you wanted to send multiple messages to multiple people, well, you need multiple pigeons. Well, same thing here. If you try to get a pigeon to send multiple messages, well, that pigeon might get sick and eventually just die. Same thing with inboxes. You're going to need multiple inboxes, because you can't just send 500 messages a day from one inbox, because email service providers like Google and Microsoft don't like that and will flag you as spam. And your messages won't be seen if no one can see your messages. Well, they can't pay you. So you need multiple pigeons, right? Multiple pigeons to carry the load. So instead of sending 500 messages from one inbox, you send, for example, 20 each from 10 different inboxes. Now, email service providers like Microsoft and Google see this, and like they see this and they're like, okay, this inbox is sending a normal amount of messages per day. So there's no red flags. So that's how you stay out of the spam, okay? Now, you might be thinking, Saad, do I need multiple inboxes or multiple domain? Well, you need both. It's not just multiple inboxes, okay? You need multiple domains too. And the reason why is because if all your pigeons are flying through the same location and that location gets shut down, all your pigeons are grounded. You're done. But if your pigeons are flying from 10 different locations, 10 different domains, and one location gets shut down, the other 9 keep flying. So you're diversifying your risk. It's what I like to call it protecting the operation. Plus, email service providers look at domain reputation. So if you're sending high volume from one domain, it looks suspicious. But if you're sending a lower volume across multiple domains, it looks natural. So that's why you need both. Multiple inboxes, right? So which means multiple pigeons, right? So multiple inboxes, right? Multiple pigeons. Multiple inboxes, which means multiple pigeons carrying messages, and multiple domains, which is multiple locations protecting you from getting shut down. That's the infrastructure, and that's what carries your outreach at scale. So now that you understand this, let's get tactical. How many do I need, Saad? Well, the general rule is 5 to 6 domains, and each domain has to have 2 to 3 max, okay? Just 2 to 3 max. Don't go over 3. Now, you might be thinking, Saad, well, where do I get them? Well, I'm going to show you exactly where to get them, okay? So this is going to be infrastructure, okay? And obviously, there's not going to be any gatekeeping, because the whole point of me making this video is to give you guys as much value as possible, okay? So let's call this infrastructure. Infrastructure, okay? So in terms of the infrastructure, there's multiple ways to do this, okay? Depending on your preference. So if you want to get started right away, there's platforms that offer you pre-warmed up inboxes. Because for some context, in order for you to start sending, you usually have to go through the warm-up stage, or like the warm-up phase. So what is the warm-up phase? It's essentially when you plug your inbox that you just purchased, right, from like a new domain to like a service provider or like a cold email software, kind of like instantly, like Smart Lead. So they do the warm up for you. And the way they do it is they emulate a normal send-in behavior. So they have multiple giant servers. They connect your inbox to their servers, and that inbox starts receiving messages from random accounts, and they reply on behalf of you using your own inbox. So in the eyes of the email service providers, now it's normal. It's like they do this for like 14 to 21 days. Usually the warm up phase like 14 to 21 days, and it just kind of like emulates like a normal send-in behavior from like someone, because you can't just buy an inbox today and start sending so many outreach messages a day. It has to go through the warm up stage or like the warm up phase. But there's multiple platforms, like I said, that offer pre-warmed up inboxes. Let's say you don't want to wait that 14 to 21 days and you want to get up and running now, today. You can use a couple platforms. Now, the platform that I recommend is going to be Scaled Mail. This is the platform that I'm also currently using, okay? What they've done is previously they would essentially just get you like inboxes, right? But now they have like a new way of doing this sort of stuff. They essentially provide you inboxes that are ready to send. And if you scroll down, you can read this, okay? So let's get a price. You want to click on get a price. So I'm going to put my name here. Email, I'm going to put my email. Phone, I'm just going to put like a random number here. Company name, for example, Maya Process, my own company, and websites, for example, Maya Process. Submit and go to pricing pages. Okay, so there's multiple packages. I'm going to walk you through each and what you need. You will notice here, can I start sending from day one without warming up? Yes, you can start sending 2 emails per day per Scaled Mail account without warming up. However, we strongly recommend. So I tried both when I would essentially just start send in same day, and I didn't get any issues. The reason why is because it always goes back to your positioning. Okay, your outreach message needs to sound like 101, right? Just like we talked about the connect your positioning. It's not like we specialize in building AI systems. It's hey, I built systems that can connect you to X, Y, and Z. That's the connect your positioning. Or like I can connect you with X, Y, and Z, for example, that need your services. Okay, it's just an example, but if you really want to be cautious, okay, you can still like let it plug to Instantly or like Smart Lead, which is our cold email software. We're gonna talk about which one to go for later on, but you can let it warm for like a couple of days and then get started right away. But just like I said, it's all about your position. It doesn't really freaking matter, okay? So I would get Scaled Mail. This is exactly what I'm using right now, and a lot of people that I know and within my circle that are using. So what you want to go for is you want to get this run right here, the starter send-in volume. So essentially they give you 70% of your inbox are going to be Microsoft and 30% are going to be Google. The reason why they say this is because when you get, or like when you purchase inboxes, right? Some are going to be Google, some are going to be Microsoft. You need to send Google to Google and Microsoft to Microsoft. Now, like I said, cold email softwares and Instantly, they handle this for you automatically using something called email service providing matching. I'm going to show you how to do it in like Instantly, but get this one, okay? So it required domains is 5 domains. Now we might be thinking, Saad, okay, this requires 5 domains. Where do I get the domains? Well, don't get them from platforms like Namecheap or like these cheap service providers. Go get them from Pork One, okay? Pork One is the best platform, and it's like very affordable. And just a heads up, you do not need .com. You just get .info. There's no issues whatsoever. Just get the for example, type in Maya Process Connect X .info. It's way more affordable than .com. And anyone that tells you that you need .com, just run to the hills. You do not, okay? And this is something coming from someone who actually sends millions of outreach messages for their clients every single month, okay? So don't get .com if you really don't want to, or let's say you're on a budget. But you can get the .info. Works just as fine. $3 per year, awesome. And then you want to get this one right here. So they give you 8 G Suites, which is Google G Suite, which is Google accounts, Google inboxes, and they give you 25 Microsoft inboxes. So in the total, you get 33 inboxes. Now, my general recommendation is each inbox can send 27 to 30 per day. So let's do the math, actually. Okay, so since you have 33 inboxes, and let's just do, for example, 25. Okay, so you're sending 825 per day. Now times 6, because you're also going to be sending from Monday to Saturday, not just Monday to Friday, actually, because decision makers will reply and get back to you even if it's Saturday. So 6 days. So 4,950. So 4,950 outreach messages. Okay, let's say, for example, you only get 2% reply rate. That's 99 replies. So that's 99 replies. Okay, so 2% reply is 99 replies. Now let's assume from only these 99, you're only gonna get, let's assume only 50% of them are actually interested. So that's 49. Let's round it as, for example, 49 replies. And then let's say from these 49, only half of it are willing to hop on a call. So it's 24. Let's round it, 24. So 24 people are willing to hop on a call and talk to you. Let's say you suck at selling. You're not really good at selling. Let's say you only close, I don't know, like 3 or 4 from 24. That's insane. So 24, and each one is going to pay you 3 to 5K. Well, that's already what, 9, 10K from like 4,950. So that's crazy ROI, right? That's amazing ROI. Because think about it. Like I said, 825 times 6, that's 4,950. Let's say only, like I said, 2%, right? So from 2%, it's only 99 replies. Let's do the math again. 99. So it's rounded at 49, and only, like I said, 2, that's 24. And from 24, you can just close 3 or 4, right? Which is insane. So that's what you want to get. You want to get this one. The 79 one requires 5 domains, and you want to get them from Porcupine. So right now you do this, okay? Now, eventually when you scale and you get more customers, okay, you want to upgrade your infra by going for Hypertide. So this is the one that I'm currently using. I have like probably around 3,500 inboxes within this Hypertide thing. I like Hypertide because they have like an API, so I can essentially just buy using API. I can click one button, buy everything. Okay, this is really good. This is the one that I'm using, okay? They have like an implementation fee, etc. But you do not need to use it right now. Just stick to scaled mails, just as good. But these ones kind of like provide more volume, okay? And they have like discounts when you get more volume. And I believe they have some sort of like connection with Microsoft, right? So that's the second one. I also use MailReef, which is this one. This is like an SMT provider, not as like an inbox. And I use this when, for example, like I have like backups. For example, I have 3,500 and I would get like 100 to 150 from MailReef just as backup. I don't know, when shit hits the fan, okay? So I use this MailReef too. Now, again, you do not need to use it. Just stick to scaled mail to get your first awesome customers all the way to like scaling to 25K a month. I would just use scaled mail. And when I want to scale, I would use Hypertide and I would add MailReef. And essentially, you're going to notice you're going to be using all of them like at the same time. But these are like the best 3 ones, okay? Now, there are multiple service providers, but I would not recommend you guys go for it because they might seem or like appear cheaper, but you're kind of like just losing the forest for the tree, okay? The best way to do it is just start on the right foot. To start on the right foot, get a good infrastructure so you don't have to like fix and lose money at the end, right? Because at the end, you're going to go back to this platform, right? So just start in a good way. Okay, so this is infrastructure, right? So like I said, I'm going to put scaled mail. Okay. And I'm going to add when scaling, upgrade to Hypertide plus MailReef for backups. Okay. That's what I would do. Okay, let's make this green. So this is infrastructure. Now, let's talk about your brand and positioning. For instance, I have my main domain, which is my process. I forgot to add this, by the way. When you get 5 domains, okay, from Porcupine, make sure to get your main domain. For example, it's myprocessconnect.info. These are like the domains or inbox you're going to be using for your systematic outreach. Now we're going to need a main domain. For example, I have myprocess.com. So that one, you want to get it as .com. So get it. That way you essentially just plug it to these domains that you're going to get from Porcupine, right? And if you're wondering how does that work, well, when you get this starter plan within Scaled Mail's dashboard, they essentially do this automatically for you. Because if you really think about it, if someone receives your outreach message and they look at this inbox, right, and they go and click on the link of that website within that inbox, they need to be forwarded to your main domain, right? Not just like a generic, like non-existent website or like landing page. But don't worry, there's like forward domain for within in the dashboard. So you can just plug it there and then they will take care of it. Okay. That's very important, by the way. Make sure to add this as a checklist. I'm actually going to add it here. Make sure to set up domain forwarding. That way people, or like that way prospects can get redirected to your main domain, which is going to be .com. Okay? Which takes me to the second thing we're going to talk about, which is your main domain plus your brand. Now, notice how I didn't start with this, not because it's unimportant, but because I want you to spend time on what actually makes you money first, which is outreach. So you shouldn't be spending 3 weeks building like the perfect website, designing logos, writing copy, and then have 0 clients. But you do need a professional looking website. Contrary to popular belief, people say it doesn't matter. Well, it does. The reason why is because imagine you get a message from someone offering to build you a sales system for like $5,000. You Google them. Option 1 is you find a clean website, clear headline, explains what they do, has some social proof, nothing crazy, but looks professional. Option B, you find some broken Wix sites with some stock photos and typos. Which one are you actually trusting with your $5,000? Exactly. So think about it from the client's point of view, right? When you reach out to someone and they Google you, you don't want them to find something that looks unprofessional, okay? So you need something that says this is a real business, right? This person knows what they're doing, okay? Which is exactly the bar. So you're not trying to win like a design award. You're just not trying to lose a deal because your website does not give you that perceived value. Okay, so what I would recommend is you can essentially just copy my website if you want. So you can see it's very simple. The way I was able to build this, I just used a platform called Webflow, but I'm going to give you a better alternative. Okay, so this is Webflow. Everybody knows Webflow. What I would recommend is you use Framer. This is a good one. And it's very, very affordable. And you essentially can get up and running quickly just using templates. Okay, and if you go to pricing, it's $10 per month, which is awesome. So just get one from here. Obviously, there's multiple ways you can build like a website. You can use, for example, these AI builders like Lovable, etc. But I found that Framer just easy to work with, right? And it's $10 per month. I believe there's multiple discounts if you do a little bit of research. So get Framer to kind of like have the main domain. Okay. So just a simple landing page, like I said, but it has to look professional. There's multiple templates in here that are really sexy. If you go to design here, I believe there's multiple templates. Yeah, there's multiple templates here. So you can get up and running as quickly as possible with this. But again, you don't need to spend weeks building the perfect website. Just have something that looks beautiful, professional, okay? And explains what you do, etc. For example, we connect X, Y, and Z. We connect recruitment, biotech, investment, we connect AI startups, whatever niche you want to go for, okay? So that's the branding, okay? Let's name this branding and main domain. Get a main domain from Pork Bun, then set up a simple, professional looking landing page from Framer. Okay. Obviously, there's also multiple platforms like Wix, but don't put too much time into this. Okay. Infrastructure, Scaled Mail, branding, main domain, Framer. Okay. So now let's talk about how to get contacts. Okay. How do we get contacts, right? Because we have the infra, we have our main domain. Everything seems exciting and looks exciting. Well, we need prospects. Well, how do we find prospects? Let me close all these tabs. Okay. And a lot of people say that you cannot get prospects. Apollo is shutting down all this crazy stuff. But I've showed you multiple times that you can still scrape Apollo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply just show you the scrapers that you're going to use within Apify. Apify is basically like a marketplace for scrapers. Scrapers are basically just tools that allow you to extract the data. Okay, I'm going to show you the scrapers, and I'm also going to give you a couple of systems. Okay, so I'm going to go to console, and I'm going to go to my YouTube channel because I built live 2 systems and actually use them to get clients live. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure to check it out, right? So I'm going to go to console, and the one that you want to be using is going to be the leads finder. So this is exactly how you scrape Apollo. It's going to put, for example, the job titles that you want, etc., email status, etc. And if you really want to like see me build like a system that automates this entire thing, and also sell some customers the next day, make sure to watch this video, which is copy this one-click system to generate thousands of leads in 15 minutes, and then how to get my first awesome customer live, plus reply management. So here also you're going to find the reply management, aka or i.e. how to reply to interested prospects. Okay, there's a lot of value in this channel. Okay, so this is the first system. This is scraping Apollo. Now, obviously, there's multiple ways you can scrape other platforms like LinkedIn, which is the biggest B2B or B2C hub where you can find contacts. So the way you want to do it is you want to go to Apify store and you want to type in Sales Navigator. So this is the scraper you're going to be using, Sales Navigator scraper. Okay. And in order for you to get Sales Navigator, you want to type in LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and you can plug in your credit card and get 30 days for free. Okay. Obviously, there's multiple ways. There's like there's definitely gray hats ways. I believe people in the community, like, they can get LinkedIn sales now for like $15 instead of $99. So yeah, there's multiple ways. Okay. Again, you can also scrape LinkedIn sales now using Phantom Buster, which is a really good platform. We actually came up with a way to kind of like bypass Phantom Buster. Not me, but someone in the community find a way to export leads from from Phantom Buster. Well, it's from SalesNav using Phantom Buster for free, because I believe this one is like $69 monthly. Yeah, 69. So instead of paying this, they found a way to export the leads, which is insane. Like I said, there's multiple gray hat ways to do it. So hopefully they don't fix this. So Sales Navigator Search Export. Okay, this is the one you want to use. Okay, so I'm going to go to my dashboard. I'm going to delete the slot. I'm going to use it again so I can show you. I want to go to Sales Navigator Search Export. And here, you're just going to basically just plug in. Click on Use Now, by the way. And you're just going to plug in your Sales Navigator Search Export, just like we used to do with Apollo. Okay, so you're going to put it right here. And then everything is going to be handled for you. Now, again, there's multiple platforms to scrape again, which is Crunchbase. Again, I have multiple videos on this channel, basically how to scrape Crunchbase. But TLDR, as you're going to scrape it using, again, Apify, which is this one, Ultimate Crunchbase Search Scraper. This is insane because it scrapes in like 1 second. As you can see, these are like my past searches. So it took us 16 seconds to get 1,200. You notice here? 16 seconds. Okay. So these are like the main lead sourcing databases that you're going to be using. So, I'm going to essentially put links to build systems plus. Okay. So let's put links to build systems. I'm going to put it here so I can leave you this TLDR, and I'm going to add. Oh yeah, there's another system actually. I built another one, which is watch me build 5K system you can sell today, full build. Essentially, this is a system that you can build to get sales from customers, but also sell it and repackage it to other businesses, right? Because it automates lead gen. Again, this one I use completely, I believe, LinkedIn. So you can go ahead and watch that too. I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to add scrapers. I'm going to add Apollo, and I'm going to go to runs. I'm going to go to this one, copy this and put it here. And I'm going to add Sales Nav, either Apollo, either Apify or PB, which is Phantom Buster, and Crunchbase, Apify. Okay. Now let's talk about enrichment, okay? What is enrichment sauce? Well, it's the process of adding more contact details to a list that you scrape from either Apollo or Crunchbase or SalesNav. Okay, let's make this blue. All right, so what is enrichment? Like I said, adding contact details. Now, depending where you get your data from. If you get the data from this scraper right here, okay, this one, from Apollo, right? Usually they give you the emails there. So let me just show you. Go to runs. For example, I'm going to go to this list. You'll notice that there's emails, there's first name, last name, company, and basically everything that you need. So now all thing that you need is basically verify these emails, okay? The reason why you want to verify, because sometimes people change jobs, sometimes like they miss like a billing cycle, and you want to make sure that this email actually exists, okay? So Apollo, just verify emails. Let me remove this. So for Apollo, just verify emails using either Mail Tester Ninja or any mail finder. There's also like other platforms like Zero Bounce, etc., or Zero Bounce too. Yeah, Zero Bounce. But the best one that I found is any mail finder and Mail Tester Ninja. So any mail finder is this one. You see me use this all the time. Any mail finder, they actually provide verifying the emails and also finding the emails, which we're going to talk about shortly. So for Apollo, just verify emails using either Mail Tester Ninja or an email finder. This is Mail Tester Ninja. Okay. It verifies the emails for you. So now for SalesNav or any platform that doesn't give you emails, you need to enrich them yourself while using the enrichment platform. And the best one that I found is going to be an email finder. The way it works is that they essentially need like a first name and last name plus company name or domain of a lead. And they essentially just try to find their email using their first and last name until they find it and they verify for you and they give it for you. So the best one is an email finder that I always use. There's also Prospeo. Okay, there's also Prospeo. It's also really good. There's also Scrape.io. Okay, but the best one, just go for any email finder. Okay, go for the monthly one. Yeah, go for the 2K. They constantly raise prices. I don't know why they do this. 2K raises nothing. So, I mean, that's the whole point why I came up with like my own platform, which is SS Masters, which is kind of like does the same thing, like an email finder. Not only just finds the emails, but also verifies the emails. Like you would bulk upload like a less, right? Or you can use the API to automate the hell out of it. But yeah, just use any email finder, like I said, or Prospeo setup, because depending on the data you got, keep that in mind. But in order for you to find emails, you need a full name plus a domain or a company name. Okay, so go for these. You need to enrich them yourself using an email finder or similar. Okay, so now we understand the infrastructure, the branding, and the main domain. We have the systems plus the lead sourcing databases. We know how to enrich. Well, what comes after this? Well, what comes after this essentially is your sending platform. Your sending platform, yes. So let's make this blue. So your sending platform is always going to be Instantly. Okay? Instantly is the best platform. Don't go for platforms like Plus5, SmartLead. Plus5 is still new, relatively new. Instantly is like one of the OGs. And the reason why I like it is because their founders are more like they're kind of like so focused on actually making money and making their users or allowing users to make more money. It's not the nerdy theoretical bullshit, okay? So if I'm going to log in, I have the hyper growth plan, okay? Always get the hyper growth plan. I'm going to show you why. But first, let me explain to you how like these email accounts work. So I'm going to click on add new. Oh, there's pre-warmed up accounts here. So they have also pre-warmed up accounts. So let's say you want to get up and running, just like I said earlier, you can still use Instantly's pre-warmed up accounts along with scaled mail. Scaled mail, like I said, you can still send day one, but let's say if you want more inboxes, okay, you can still use Instantly pre-warmed up accounts, which are really good. Don't go for done for your email setup. They're not as good. Don't go for it. Just please. I know I tried this multiple times and it's not working. Okay, it's just not good. Okay, either go for the pre-warmed up accounts or don't use it at all, and go for scaled mail. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So let's talk about how. Oh yeah, let me go to, for example, a campaign here. So this demo, as lazy as possible. I'm gonna go here, and you will notice that if I go to advanced, you will notice that you can click on this ESP around it. So create rules to control email sending based on sender recipients email service providers. So like I said, when you get the inboxes or like Google inboxes from scaled mail, it's Microsoft send to Microsoft. Just like I said, it's very automatic. You don't have to worry about it. Now let me just log out. Actually, I can just show you the pricing. Yeah, I can go to pricing, and you want to use the hyper growth. Reason why is because it allows you to upload 25,000 contacts, and here you only got 1,000. Okay, 1,000 is nothing, right? So 25,000 contacts uploaded. Okay, so that's the plan you want to go for. Now let's talk about the second thing. Okay, so your email sender platform, always Instantly. By the way, I'm not affiliated with these guys. It's just the one that I'm using and I've used throughout my entire career. Now let's talk about batching, okay? Because now you have, well, you have your infrastructure, you have your main domain brand, you have the systems, you have Apollo 2, you have like enrichment platforms, you're sending platform instantly. Well, now how do I actually do the thing? So let's say you scrape 3,000, 4,000 from these system right here. You do not want to send to 4,000 right off the bat. That's a bad mistake. That's the worst thing you can do. You do not want to listen to people who say, cast a wide net, multiple niches, 4,000 contacts, send now. No, don't do this. So for example, let's say you get 3,000. What you want to do is take or use batching technique, which means I take 600 from 3,000 contacts and I start, and from there I refine. Okay, so it doesn't make sense to send to 4,000 because now let's say you mess up, right? Something happens. Well, now you need another list. You burnt an entire list for no reason. So you take 600 and you're going to get the signal quickly because 600 is more than enough. 600 can get 2 clients from 600 contacts. Okay, so 600, and then you test as you go. Okay, and from 600, now you're not risking your deliverability. That's 1. And 2, let's say something goes wrong. Let's say the message or connector message was not good. Well, now we still have 2,400 contacts to test and refine. Okay, so 600, that's all that you need. So I'm going to say use batching technique, 600 for each batch, and refine as you go. So that's the plan. Okay, so you want to pick a niche, scrape 3,000, get 3,000, enrich, do all this stuff. And for each batch, you want to pick 600, okay? And you essentially just get up and running, right? So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys found value in this one. So like I always say, get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.